I want to welcome you to Dream Chasers Radio with me, your host, Yaya Diamond. Well, oh, peoples, how you doing? It is a great time. I'm so very excited to be here. We have amazing authors on the show, and you know how I love authors. Okay, so I am sitting looking at the TV in a different manner. Like everything is writing to me now. Since I've been interviewing authors, I've been noticing that some of these scripts are wonderful and some suck. And some books are amazing and some not so good. So I have a guest who has two amazing books, very good books. And we're going to be talking about his books and talking to him today. We have Frank on the show today. He's got two books and we're going to be talking about that today. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Oh, man. So tell us about yourself and your journey. Why writing and how did you get started?
Well, I'm a scientist, so I have done a lot of writing, but it's been scientific stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what happened is that when I was very young, my father died on me when I was 10 years old. And so it was a pretty tragic thing. But the deal is that as a result of his demise, my mother remarried a farmer in Arizona. And so we moved from the city to two government trailers in the desert of Welton, Arizona, and a total change of perspective. So my friends became kangaroo rats and rattlesnakes and that kind of thing. We didn't have any neighbors, so I was there by myself, and I had to learn how to survive. And in that process, I became the person I am today, less fearful about stuff. And also, I feel like I have capabilities that I wouldn't have ever imagined I would have otherwise. And as a result, my life has turned out to be miraculous. I live here in San Diego. I vision quested that thing when I was in Tennessee, and I live exactly where I thought I would like to live. There's no way that could have happened, but it did. And here we go. So I am looking at the possibility of writing a book. And what happens is my wife and we take a trip down the Colorado River with other couples in a canoe. Really wonderful trip. And we passed through Yuma, Arizona, hotter than hell as usual. And the experience, though, was so inspiring to her, she decided to write a book about Linda and the Chocolate Mountains. Chocolate Mountains we passed by as we got to the end of our trip in Yuma. And what happened then is that she started writing this book, and I thought it was wonderful what she was writing. It's about this little Indian girl who lived there. And she got writer's block. She couldn't go any further. So she had me help her out. And I wrote this little paragraph, which I thought would be a really good bridge into what she wanted to do next. Had to do with the dream sequence. And she didn't like it. So I got this little paragraph back. And what am I going to do with it? Well, I took it to work. And during noon hour, I just sat there on my computer and did this. And the story from the point of view of that little paragraph went like that. And I didn't work with an outline. I didn't do anything. But it came out. It just flowed out of me somehow. Where in the heck did this come from? Well, it turns out, as I now get it, that 10-year-old girl that is Sally is actually me. And so what I had done is create the environment that she ends up in, which has strange animals in it and all the wonderful experiences. And the result of her tragic beginning, which is in the book, she has an end, which is a miraculous life at the end. So it's a very inspiring story. It's full of really cool stuff. I love writing it. And then I had it narrated. And this woman, Rebecca Nemethy, is a narrator. She nailed every character in the story. There are 6 characters, all different voices, and some of them with really odd voices. Like my crow has a cross between Steve Martin and Martin Short. You conceive of how you put that together? Well, she did. She did. And it's like that through the whole book. So the Audible version, I just totally recommend. She's amazing. The other thing that's wonderful about Sally and the Magic River, I saw it as a movie when I was writing it. And I've seen it as a movie for a long time now. It's running on, 20 years I've been thinking about this thing. What happened next is like a miracle. When I was 12 years old, 11 years old, I was reading science fiction. You'll see a lot of that behind me. Those science fiction books are all from my teenage years. Anyway, I had this vision of the future full of artificial intelligence and space travel and people living for a long time and all the stuff that's happening right now.
Yeah.
And guess what?
What?
I'm working with my daughter, and my daughter and I, using artificial intelligence, are creating the movie Sally and the Magic River.
Oh
And
my
it is
God.
amazing. The AI, and I won't share who it is incredible. It's the AI sounds like a human and is way smarter than any human ever thought about being, is able to consolidate all of the wonderful stuff. I just fed it my book and it knows what to do with it. And so it's happening.
Wow.
And we will have a movie. I don't know how long it'll take, but not long. He's quick. I mean, stuff that would take others weeks, he does in 30 seconds.
Wow. Wow,
It's
that
a
is
wow,
amazing.
right?
That is amazing. I mean, that is amazing. I mean, we all have to be careful how we do it too, because we don't want to take away from the real actors, but coming
No, I
up with
don't.
fictional characters and coming up with, your book and putting it in AI, that is amazing right there.
It
And
is.
I love
And
sci-fi.
my idea about it is that I don't want to take away from the actors either. So I will have this. I will give it to Netflix or somebody and say, look, this is the kind of movie I'd like to make. Now make it. We're using real people.
Right.
But
Exactly.
if they don't do that, at least I've got this,
Right. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. That is amazing. Congratulations. I mean, oh my gosh. Yes. Wow. So you learn how to stay by yourself. I mean, I'm an only child as well. And I understand, my mother only had one child. And I understand what it's like to be an only child and entertain yourself and then have this book come out being about you, but you didn't really know. I mean, after everything was said and done, how did that make you feel that your life was not even, I mean, it's not even a male, it's a female, but you had no idea. How does that make you feel?
Well, it's really neat. So I'm writing the new book. It's out of the Our Self-Assembling Universe series, and it's called Who Is Us? And all of a sudden, I decided I needed a foil, a literary foil in this book. So I brought Sally into the book. So Sally's all the way through this book, and it's a conversation between Frank and Sally. Well, guess what? I have two hemispheres up here. This one's Frank, this one's Sally. Frank freaking knows, he thinks he knows everything. Well, he doesn't. He's gotten old. He's 85 years old. Well, Sally hasn't gotten old. She's still a 10-year-old. And she has retained everything. But Frank, who is dominant, thinks he knows everything. And so if you ask me a question, I won't know the answer. I have to shut Frank up so that I can let Sally come up with the answer. Sally always knows, but it's kind of frustrating. And people say, well, what the hell are you doing, Frank? Well, I'm waiting for Sally to give me the answer. That's all. It's crazy.
That is funny, though.
We've got two brains up here. We do. They're different.
I know. And they're both, one is saying, yes, you could do this. You got this. The other one's saying, no, you don't. No, you don't. You know you can't. And I know I struggle with
That's right. That's what goes on.
I do.
The dominant says, no, you can't do that.
Yep. Gives me you're not good enough. You're ugly. Nobody is going to listen to you. And the other one's like, oh, please be quiet. Shut up.
Sally knows how to play the piano.
Wow.
Frank used to think he knew how to play the piano, but poor Frank, he was taught by a music teacher who took a ruler to his fingers every time he was playing when he was trying to learn how to play. So guess what? Frank will be playing along, think he knows what's going on, or Sally that's doing the playing, but Frank comes along, how are you doing that? All of us, well, if that happens, boom, I don't matter how well I have practiced, boom, I can't perform at all. It's it's like a stutter. Well, guess what? I said, okay, screw you, Frank. Sally and I are going to do this now. We're not going to pay any attention to you. We don't need you. And so I don't read music anymore. I just go to the piano and I start playing stuff. And I didn't know I could do that, but I do.
Mm-hmm.
I have an ear for music and I can play. I have a little tune going on in my head and I go to the piano and I play it. Hear another tune and go on and play it. It's not exactly the same tune. I have really cool chords and things that I bring into it. So it's way modern, Like, and I play Bach. I can, well,
Wow.
one of the things that's in Sally is a Bach fugue, G sharp minor fugue that I reorchestrated. And I call it Rivulets, which is Sally's theme in Sally and the Magic River, the Audible book.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Wow. I mean, okay. So sometimes you might look at yourself and go, I can't believe I have exactly this confrontation going on in my head, but you've used it to your advantage. What kind of advice do you give to people who may have the same confrontation going on in their
They
head?
do.
I know
They often, everybody's got it. Just, you got to learn to relax. What I figured out is if I'm picturing something, Frank is getting that image. I have to shut that image off and just not pay any attention to that part of it. I got to go and kind of like quiet everything down and let Sally take over. It's a bit of a trick.
You know, a lot of us have been held back because Frank is really dominant and Sally's like, shut up, be quiet. And then Frank is like, no, I can't. I mean, literally speaking, that battle goes on and shutting that off. I mean, how did you?
Yeah, so it's true. You've got a dominant Sally. I've got a dominant Frank, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's reverse for you.
It really is reversed. I'll jump before I stop. It's like Sally's like, let's go. And I'm like, yeah. And then Frank is like, wait a minute. And I'm like, I already did it. So yeah, it's a little bit different for me. I will jump before Frank can get any words out. I will. It's funny. My husband says to me, you need to stop moving so fast. And I'm like, I can't help it. So I mean, but everybody has that battle, like you said, but a book could come out of that really good. So did your science background help you with your book?
Well, it did to a degree. I mean, I always think of Sally as being a wannabe scientist herself. So that was part of it. And I could see maybe a sequel coming out of it where Sally is now a scientist and she's doing things like maybe it's not quite one of these Marvel comic kind of things, but she does have super abilities that come from a scientific background. So
nice.
I could see that working out.
I can't.
But the thing is that I've used the science to create our self-assembling universe series, and that's all science. And it's really fascinating stuff. You want me to tell you about that?
Yes,
it's pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
So what happened here I'm in San Diego, right?
Mm-hmm.
And every morning I go out and I now because I've gotten to be 85, I really am religious about it. I go on my walk, jog, run. And while I'm doing this, I'm usually listening to something that might be entertaining. It might be music, or it might just be some entertaining novel. It's an audible book version, or more often now, it's a YouTube video that I'm doing a just listen to. Mm-hmm. And then if it really is a cool just listen, then I'll do a watch listen when I get home. And so what happens now is that this is the beginning of our self-assembling universe. I'm on my walk, jog, run. It's a rainy day, and I pass this little group of people who's standing by the seawall. And I hear, as I'm passing by, they say rainbow, and I hear this word rainbow. It's like, wow, I turn around and there's this beautiful rainbow, which is the rainbow that I have on the cover of my book, Our Self-Assembling Universe. So I'm looking at this thing, and all of a sudden everything changes for me. I said, oh my God, the universe is assembling itself. And I see the atoms. I look at the sand, I can see the silicon. I look at the water, I can see the hydrogen and oxygen atoms making water and running around in there. It's just all my senses all of a sudden changed. And I was able to see things I couldn't see before, hear things I couldn't hear before. And I got really excited and I said, I got to get my hands on this. I got to do this. So I said, what do I do? Well, I got to go to CVS. I got to get my hands on this. So I go running across the street and go to CVS. I'm walking through the store and I say, I got to get help. I got to get help. Help me out. And they say, well, what do you need? And I say, well, I blah, 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 blah. And they have no idea what I'm talking about. It's too crazy. And so I keep wandering through the store. I go to every section of the store, including the pharmaceuticals, every place I can think of. And I'm about to give up. I'm walking out of the store and then hanging off the underarm deodorant. As I'm walking out of the store is the perfect thing that I was looking for. I didn't know what it was, but there they are. Okay, so I passed this group of people. They have me going into CVS, and I find out what I need, which are hanging off the deodorant aisle are these two containers. One has orange ping pong balls, and the other one has white ones. So I made the orange ping pong ball my proton, and the white one my neutron, and I started assembling the nuclei of atoms. And I used that in our first issue of our self-assembling universe to teach eighth graders. I went through about 400 eighth graders, teaching them nuclear physics. And I thought, well, this is wonderful. And so the series is pretty cool. I learned nuclear physics myself by teaching myself, by going on walk, jog runs and watching videos. And so then now what I've done in the second edition of our self-assembling universe is create what I call an art book, which I think is a new literary art form. And what it is that it's an ordinary book, but in it it's laced with short YouTube videos, and you can call them up just by saying, "Hey Siri," and then she comes up with whatever you're looking for, and give the title. I don't want to do it now. She'll probably interrupt me by doing it. Yeah. I don't want to talk to her. And so that's the way the book works. And so what happens is you get to a complex thing, and this book has a lot of complex stuff in it. It's really interesting stuff, but it is complicated. Well, there are presenters like Arvin Ash, who is amazing. In a very short time, he can get across the most difficult thing you can imagine with wonderful video, audio displays. And of course, his abilities are really great because he's able to explain things. He's a great explainer. And so I have that in there. And every time I come across something, if it's really difficult, I'll generally go to him. But then there are others like Jim Al-Khalili, who is a really good documentary presenter. And he really is inspiring and stuff like that. So the book is really cool in that regard. It's only 80 pages long, but if you actually read it and work it, it'll take you weeks to get through it.
Wow. So it's educational.
It's educational, but more than that, it is really entertaining. Mm-hmm. And by the time you get through with it, you'll have a really good idea that, okay, yeah, I think maybe there is a supreme being. There's some good evidence that there is. And some people like to call it that individual God, and some maybe something else, but there's definitely something going on here. And it's broken down into what you might just call a simulation.
Wow. You're going to have to send me the book so we can do a review.
Oh, I will. Yeah, I definitely will send you a book.
Yes, definitely. We can put it up here and display it. But not only that, we're going to do a review of it because I think that's amazing. I love science. I love the fact that yesterday came to my phone that the electrodes were put into the gentleman's brain, and Christopher Reeve's son actually presented it, and the man is walking. He couldn't walk, paralyzed from an accident, and now he's walking because of it. Mm-hmm. I mean, literally, he's up, his legs are moving like by themselves, like not a robot. Yeah. He doesn't have anything. He just has the electrodes, and the electrodes send signals, and they bypass the injury. And I think that's just amazing.
Well, it's happening. And one of the other ones that's happening is this thing that's, there's other ways of doing it, but Musk has come out with the Neuralink, and it allows you to link with computers, but you could also link with another person. And I always talk about being in another person's shoes. Well, if I could interlink with you, I would really be in your shoes. You could actually be me. I could be you, and we could
I think that's freaky.
share that experience. Yeah.
That is totally freaky. That was a movie that they had these big robots. They were fighting the war, and and they would interlink to fight together in this big machine. I remember that. Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That is absolutely. I mean, the technology now is just going crazy. I say they got aliens and then they took their technology from them. I mean, there's no way we could advance this fast.
Well, it's making look like we got aliens, all right.
I know.
I'm hoping that they exist, because there was a movie that was created when I was a teenager, or not maybe a young guy anyway. It's called "When the Day the Earth Stood Still" with Michael Rennie.
Mm-hmm.
And that one has elements in it of what I think could be happening now. Maybe the aliens are down here and are going to save our butts, because we're about to blow ourselves off the face of this planet. We're destroying the planet off the face.
We're about to blow the planet off the face of the universe.
Yeah. No, I mean we need help, and we're not smart enough to figure out how to do it. We need help.
No, we're on one planet. I think that they just think that the planet's so big that it won't affect them. But I am sorry, it will.
Yeah. No, the whole thing.
Yeah.
We're in trouble.
Yes, we are.
It's exciting. I'm exciting,
but we could be living our last days here.
It could be, but I have an idea that maybe we'll get help.
I hope
the aliens are here. I do believe they are, and maybe I
hope somebody's here. Somebody help. Somewhere. Come, let's go. Definitely. Well, I want to thank you.
The AI that's helping me do this movie is clearly smart enough.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
smart.
Definitely. Well, I want to thank you, Frank, for being on the show. Where can people find your book, or both books? You have more than one.
Yeah. Goodreads, Amazon, the regular bookstores. It's there. One thing you need to look out for, though, if you're looking for our self-assembling universe, Goodreads has created a problem, because the second issue is our self-assembling universe, an art book on consciousness and information, and E equals MC squared. Well, they didn't put the subtitle in. And so if you pull up our self-assembling universe on Goodreads, and maybe some of the other sites too, you'll see the original Our Self-Assembling. And that's in red letters, the title, with a bluish cover. And it's good, but it doesn't have the value that the new issue has. The new issue has all of the first issue in it. Plus, it has a preface that goes into wonderful stuff on quantum mechanics and stuff, and is an art book. So it's that there's that much more value in the second edition than there is in the first. And the second edition is still called Our Self-Assembling Universe, but it's a totally different color cover. It's got gold lettering, and it's got a more yellowish tinge to it. Still got a rainbow running through it. So.
Okay. Well, they can get that on Amazon, right?
Yes.
Okay. We'll find the links and we'll put it in the description box below, so it'll be easy for people to actually get that, where there'll be no confusion. I think
you look for the gold letter one.
Right. I'll look for the gold letter one. Definitely. Yeah. I want to thank you, Frank, so much. Hopefully we get help from another whatever, so we don't kill each other.
I've really been looking forward to talking to you, Yaya. It's been wonderful. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. We're going to have all of Frank's information about his books. And if you love science, like I love science, and you like audiobooks, that's like on my phone, audiobooks. When I'm walking, when I'm exercising, I have a book going through. I'm always doing that. Just like Frank, you need to go ahead and get this. I want to thank you guys so much. We're again going to have those links in the description box to the new edition that he is talking about today. And I want to thank you again so much. Don't forget to dare to be different. And until next time, guys, bye. Remember, Sally's the dominant one. Jump, just do it.
did to be different. I 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 did. I did to be different.